Zelazny might have a run here. He pulls up, 2 laps to go at Auto Club Speedway. What a run this has been. 5 cars out front just dancing around the lead. Salas back to the bottom. Honeycutt stuck up top. Slide job out of Salas. Crossover out of Honeycutt.
23 should have a big run here. He does.
You see Salas starting to cover it up. He goes up the racetrack. Honeycutt's clear of them both. He shoves it up in front of the 23, gets himself loose. It'll be white flag this time by. Salas down low. Zelazny looking for a hole. Side by side, 3 wide, coffee in it. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go. Brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Who is going to win the Luke's Playhouse 200? Honeycutt controlling the race. Coffee in second. Tires are aging. Zelazny off the top rope. Got a little bit free. He's going to crash with lights. And yes, wall there. Who knows? Honeycutt, though, leading the race. Can Coffee get a run? He's going to send it. He hits him. Big bump and run. Coffee's going to try and get away. Can Salas get there? Coffee's going to crash. Salas is going to crash. Watch Nick Lights here to the stripe. Salas is going to do it with no front bumper.
Unbelievable.
Wow. There's the white flag from Barney the Flagman. 1 lap to go at Long Beach. White flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams.
Yeah, can really hold him off. He looked like he's started to gap Cantonio just ever so slightly. Got about half of a second. It's been hovering right around there. Oh, Cantonio really pushing. He's sideways out of turn number 1. But Rayleigh just keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nice and smooth, able to keep it going. It's going to be tough. Antonio knows that there's not very many chances, even if he can get close enough to him to make a move. So we'll see as they come through 6 and 7, head toward turn 8 onto the backstretch.
Deeper in the field, nothing changing. Lap traffic ahead. It's Kevin Peak and Bradley Alvis right in front of our race leaders down East Seaside Way. And to turn number 9 for the final time, lap traffic in the way, and Rayleigh goes for it on peak. He sends it into turn 9. He knows he can't wait. He knows he can't give an opportunity to Kevin Cantonio. Cantonio's gonna take it anyway, ships it into the hairpin, and Rayleigh's gonna get away. Thomas Rayleigh is going to be a race winner in the North American Racing League. A last lap bump and run wasn't enough. This man wins at Long Beach.
Wow, what a finish coming through that hairpin. I thought they were all going to wad it up. We had lap traffic in there, staying in there.
We, of course, started Season 6 right here at the World Center of Racing, and we're back tonight for Race 6. The Castle Smart Alarm 125 takes us under the lights at one of the world's most famous racing courses, whether it's the oval or the road course. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual Daytona, Florida. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with Super alongside this evening, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the BRB Sundance Pro Series. Tonight's coverage from Daytona for the Castle Smart Alarm 125 is brought to you by Sundance Pizza, by MX Wraps, and by the BRB Racing League. Super, I know you've been away for a couple of races, actually, since Daytona, I believe, right? So you come right back here for a very special race at a very special racetrack, and it looks like Spectrum is wanting to dip on us for a second, so bear with me. It looks like the upload speed is coming back to us. Well, let's take a look at the track map then, Super. Of course, it is the Daytona Road Course. I think we know and love it pretty well. And it looks like I need to get back in the iRacing session. Yep, it's just done that to me.
It's unfortunate. Well, we'll get there.
Well, we can keep going. We can still keep talking about the other stuff here. It'll just delay our pre-race show slightly. As we'll be reloading. We might not be able to get to the drivers we were going to talk to this evening. I still want to get to one of them. That'll be Brady Moats if we still can, but regardless, here is the track map for Daytona International Speedway, the road course, though, Super. And of course, we saw the season opener here not too long ago on the oval. That was a bunch of fun. This track, though, it's very special for a lot of reasons. Obviously, hosts the Rolex 24 in January. Used to host the, the Paul Revere 250, I believe it was, when Grand Am was still a thing. Now it does kind of sit unused most of the year, so BRB is giving it a use tonight.
Yeah, and thankfully, right, we're not going to be using that old NASCAR layout with the one right before that like little chicane before the pit lane. I don't know many people that liked it, so we're going to be going to the authentic Daytona road course, which I am very excited for.
Yeah, I do think this is the layout that most prefer versus that NASCAR chicane out of NASCAR Turn 4, but I could take it or leave it. I mean, these guys will be doing, 200 nearly into Turn 1 tonight, so it's going to be a spectacle for sure in that regard. Let's take a look at point standings here this evening after 5 races of 18. Oh boy, it's spicy. That cut line battle, they're tied. Scott Fritz, Gray Walker tied on the cut line, 1 in, 1 out. Clank is just 3 in. I believe he's here tonight. It looks like it, but again, dropped out of the session there just as we went live, so we're loading back in and are slightly delayed in that regard. But I mean, there's plenty of great storylines here. Of course, the chaotic Texas race we saw last week dropped Coulter Clark a little bit. He's not quite as far above the cut line, and really nobody in the cut right now is. I mean, the points totals, right? The gap has dropped significantly for everybody in the top 10 there on the standings. It hasn't changed much on the outside of the chase right now. Still some double digits going on, but a lot more single digits above the cut line in the chase than there were last week.
Yeah, and of course, right after Maddox's win at Texas, that gap to Coulter Clark has really come down. Right, Coulter did not have that good of a race. We're going to see, hopefully, if he can get a good bounce back, but I'm willing to bet he would prefer higher than a 3-point gap.
Of course, every race this season so far has been won by a Toyota driver, whether it's at Maverick Motorsports or Blackbird Motorsports, the couple of affiliated teams there. It's impressive what they've done so far. The couple of Maddox brothers at Maverick, they've each got a win, Daytona and Texas, and then Cameron Taylor won at Mexico, with Coulter Clark winning the other couple of races at Dover and New Hampshire. Cameron Taylor not here tonight, though, so that could shake things up, considering he won our most recent road course race in that battle with Jourdain White. Does that open the gate for Jourdain White to step through? It looks like Adam Buzzio's very quick tonight. We might have Gavin Rogers and Zach Hall on the racetrack. Brendan Maddox has been fast. Brady Moats has been fast. Richard Wolsifer, Dustin Stallings look really good. So this could be a big wild card race. It could also be a conga line. Follow the leader. I don't know. Honestly, jury's out. We're going to find out very soon. But here's a look at the schedule this season, and you see we're starting to speed through it. I mean, we are coming right up on halfway through the regular season very quickly. That would be next week at Indianapolis.
just 2 days after the Indy 500, we're going to be having our own sort of race at Indianapolis, followed right by Iowa. Two very different tracks. It's going to be fun to see how those drivers handle that. I'm personally looking forward to it.
Yeah, Indianapolis is going to be interesting next week. It's not a track I would typically put ARCA cars around. I've very briefly tested it myself, and it's a little bit awkward, so I'm curious how it's going to be in the draft. I don't know. We'll see. That'll be a very different kind of race, I think, for this car. That should be a lot of fun to watch. So watch out for that one next week. In the meantime, as we load into the iRacing.com session, we can't show you his car, but I can go ahead and at least pull him down for a brief conversation. After all, it is his birthday. We want to still talk to him, and that is going to be Brady Motes. We're a little bit delayed right now. We dropped right out of the session as soon as we went live here, Brady, but happy birthday, first of all. What has the celebration been like? I mean, cutting the cake and jumping in the sim.
Oh yeah, man. Me and the wife got some sushi for dinner, my favorite. And yeah, just gonna jump in here and turn some laps at probably the track I have the most laps at. It's not reflecting in speed right now in practice, but definitely don't have the most laps here in the ARCA car. I can promise you that, or NASCAR for that matter. But plenty in the GT3 of any combination, Porsche, Mustang, GTD cars with Mr. Conover and Mr. Christian Berry and all of us running the 24 mostly every year. But definitely a different beast here. It's impressive some of these times these guys are setting.
Yeah, and right, we already mentioned, you're coming from your birthday. Are you hoping to get a good birthday gift and finish on the top step of that podium today?
Well, I think that's a little ambitious. We're gonna just hope to see another top 5 again, like we had at Mexico. That would be an outstanding day. Yeah, because just me in the ARCA car right now, currently, I'm just still trying to feel it out, I guess. I mean, as much as that may sound silly, but I just don't really have a whole lot of laps in this car, and I know it's one of the more simpler cars to drive on iRacing, but it's just a little foreign to me and doesn't really suit my driving style that well. But I feel like I'm improving every week, and hopefully can be up there in the top 5 when it matters.
And Brady, of course, you don't have a huge list of BRB stats, right? But we at least saw you on track at Mexico City running really, really well in that road course race. That's what we're kind of going off of here. So it does seem like you've got a bit of a leg up on road versus a lot of these guys as you back her into turn 1. And you know what? You and I were practicing the other night trying to find the right spot to brake. I mean, is there anything really that you can pull from that Mexico race, or is this a whole new beast?
Man, I feel like this is a whole new beast just with how much speed there is. Like, yeah, there's some technicality down in the infield, but man, it's a hell of a lot more speed. It's just a different beast. Daytona will chew you up and spit you out pretty quick, even though it's not as technical. I don't know. I don't really know how I'll fare, truthfully. Maybe I'll have a good race pace as long as I can keep the 4 tires underneath me. But we'll see.
And last question, you're up against Caden Perkins in the bracket. Any worries there? He finished second at Mexico. He was good.
I don't know. He's kind of scaring me a little bit. He ain't set no times yet, so we'll just have to see what he can come up with. I don't think he set a time yet in practice, but I want to see what kind of speed he has before I make any judgment calls.
He's 13th right now, but anything can happen when we get into the race. Best of luck, Brady. Good to talk to you.
All right, thank you.
That is Brady Motes, birthday boy around these parts. And I do want to quickly move over to our other driver we had planned to talk to this evening. We got back in just in the nick of time to still do this, and that will be Zach Maddox. So pivoting from the 44 over to the 14, Zach, you are our most recent winner in this series at Daytona. However, not the same at all, right? The oval, it was the plate race, completely different in the season opener, but you've got that win, and coming into tonight, you've got 7,500 laps completed in this series. How do we feel about this one?
Not very good. It's not a terrible track. I've ran it for some 24-hour practice. I know it a little bit, not so much with the ARCA car, and I haven't practiced it all week, so just gonna go out there, try to have fun, have a good time, survive. Try not to lose too many points today. It's the nature of the game. Oh. Yeah, go out there, try to have fun, make it a good race. It's only 35 laps. It can't be that hard, right?
Yeah, and so last race, at least last road course at Mexico, you ended up coming home 18th, right? We already asked Brady Motes what he thought about it, but what do you think? Is this an entirely different track, or will you be able to use what you've learned at Mexico here?
Mexico's different. Yeah, it's more technical. I feel like this track is simpler, but I don't think I stand in any good standing to score higher. No, I'd be okay with the top 20, but I'm expecting to be maybe 25. How many guys do we have in the session right now? 23?
29,
Okay.
including
29?
Gavin and Zach.
Ooh, yeah, I think I'd be lucky to get into the top 25. Road courses are not where I shine. They're where I struggle the most. Maybe next to short tracks. So it just, we'll see what happens with it.
And I
Like I said,
know,
try to have fun.
I know, of course, last week was very special for you and Brendan both. For him to win, you to go third. And it seems like this season in general has just been electric for you guys. Not just you brothers, but Maverick and even Blackbird. The whole conglomerate over there. You guys are loving Season 6 so far. How do you try to ensure that that continues here this evening? Even if you maybe aren't going to go for the top spot tonight, how do you try to help your teammates out?
Just give them encouragement when they need it, when it's getting frustrating out there on the track. Yeah, Hall being out here, and I'm not 100% certain if Gavin's racing. Usually when those two race, especially on road courses, it's alright, it's going to be a fight for third place at that point, right? Just give them encouragement to go out there and battle and do the best they can. Keep a level head, keep it cool. Don't make any dumb mistakes.
There you go. I think that's a pretty solid way to approach this one this evening. Zach, good to talk to you. And hopefully we're talking to you later on with some positive news.
Yes, sir. Good to talk to you, gentlemen. Have a good one. Enjoy the race.
Zach Maddox, looking all right, I'd say. I know he says road isn't his, forte necessarily, but I mean, 18th right now on the speed charts, that's not that bad. And if Gavin and Zachary Hall are not racing, that's really 16th. So I know he thinks he's bad and all that, but I don't think it's that crazy. You see the colors, though, on the left side of your screen here, Super. We are in another bracket race, and that pits a handful of drivers versus one another. We're, of course, down to 4 matchups from our 8 that we had at Texas last week, and those are now Brendan Maddox versus Scott Fritz, Brady Motes versus Caden Perkins. You saw it there. I believe it is Stephen Borbell and, oh gosh, I lost it. Oh, I just wait for the ticker to come back around. Borbell and Wood, that's what I thought it was, and then Pooler versus Christenberry. Each of these are very interesting. I think Maddox certainly has a leg up over Fritz. Otherwise, they feel very even to me and very compelling for this racetrack in particular.
Yeah, like you said, right, Maddox is definitely one who's got a leg up, but everyone else, it could honestly go either way, and I would not be surprised at what happens. We got a new fastest lap.
Oh my gosh, a 142. That doesn't seem to make sense, but
someone might have to
right.
check if he cut the bus stop.
Well, there's tire packs there. I don't think he could, but
if he jumps it.
I don't know. But we are in practice, the final stages here of it, and a quick look at our weather conditions in this practice session. You see the track temp down at 79 degrees, not too warm. The fact that we are under the lights does help these guys, but it is dark out there, and that might spell issues for, later in the race. If maybe a car is stopped just slightly off the racetrack and rejoining, it could be difficult to see. Ultimately, do I really expect issues? No. I mean, they're on screen. If it was real life, I think it might be a little bit harder to tell. But I don't really expect problems with the darkness, but it is certainly worth looking at. I do want to look around the racetrack, though, for some inspiration as far as best in show, however. And, I mean, there's Gavin Rogers, the 77, Sundance Pizza, always looks great. Adam Buzzio is in a new ride there, his new job, Everclear Solutions there on the number 5. Jordan White back in the GTM colors. That's cool to see. Brendan Maddox has brought out his Castle.io paint scheme once again. Dustin Stallings is out there in his Girl Dad Toyota Camry. And of course, Brady Motes, we saw him a little bit ago. So there are some new colors that we want to check out. We won't have the vote just yet. While we switch sessions, we can take a look actually here, Super, at our power rankings coming into this evening. They have changed up quite a lot. Brendan Maddox now on top of these power rankings. You see 73.0 for him. He is well clear of Buzzio, Clark, Wood, and everybody else. He has definitely asserted himself as a favorite right now in this series. And then you see everybody else kind of shuffling around behind, some moving up, some moving down. And Jordan White, man, he took a big hit at Texas.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate, right? And, you know, as you previously just mentioned, Brendan Maddox, after his red-hot win at Texas, is going to come in a huge amount of points ahead. Coulter Clark did not have the race he would have wanted, finished down in 29th. His confidence might be shot. This is going to have to be a really big bounce-back race for him, because finishing 29th just hurts a driver.
We'll see how this changes, of course, between this week and next week. Two of the most famous racetracks in the world, Daytona and Indianapolis, going to set the tone for this mid-season stretch for sure. Of course, we will talk a lot about our fantasy picks this evening. We've started that up this series, this season, I should say, and we can take a look at how the fantasy standings are looking. Look at that. You're out of here, Super. You're 7th. I'm 6th. We actually swapped spots after Texas last week. The top three, though, holding steady. Conover, Murtis, and Pooler all on top. They are the favorites right now, frankly. Brendan Maddox did pick up a bunch. He's now into 4th. Baumler fell down. Otherwise, not a lot of movement, actually, within this top 10. And this is only the top 10. There's still time to make your pick. If you are out there watching, you've still got just a little bit of time. We'll extend this, I think, to about 9:15 for you to get a pick in. So if you've not picked yet for this BRB fantasy game, you can still do so. A couple of prizes up for grabs. We gotta figure out the MX Wraps part of it, actually. But TZO Designs is involved. We're just trying to have some fun and provide a little bit of extra talking points. And that's exactly what it's doing so far. This has been a blast to talk about so far this season. And we're going the rest of the way. So if you haven't made your picks, get them in. There will be some drop weeks to keep everybody kind of together. But you are starting to get to the point where if you haven't picked yet, it might be a struggle, but there's certainly still a pathway into the chase. So keep that in mind. But let's get best in show going here, Super. And we already took a look at some of the paint schemes. Let's take a look at a few more. Scott Fritz is out there, the number 48. Same kind of Daytona paint scheme we expect out of him. Carl Pooler, no big change there on the 71 or the 17 for Norman, or even the 81 for Patinko. Rusty Rafferty, same colors on his car, although he does have a couple of special notes on his machine this evening. He actually lost his best friend Dracula. That is a cat. I promise, not a vampire or a bat, a cat that he lost over the weekend. So we do extend our well wishes to their family, obviously. What's said and done is said and done, but we certainly are feeling for Rusty this evening. He's got a couple of those decals on that car. Moving around the field, Coulter Clark, he tends to have some good ones, and this is just like last week. It's a looker, but we nominated it last week, so we got to keep going. Have you seen any that you want me to stop on so far?
I've seen a couple. I think I'm gonna hold off until we get to that best in show vote, right?
Well, I mean, it's time to nominate.
Well, I want to see if a few more catch my eye, but currently so far, I probably would have to go with Rafferty in that 43, right? As you mentioned, he did lose Dracula, and it's really just amazing to see him go back out there after such a hard moment. It's a great scheme, right? He's got a great mention of his cat, right? And I really hope he can. He can do something for Dracula. I really hope he can make Dracula proud.
And to be clear, this is a throwback, actually, to a Rick Wilson Snickers paint scheme from years back in the 90s as he spins out here in qualifying. So we will put that on the graphic, or on the vote, rather. I am going to go ahead. Man, I don't know who to go with. Let's see what Johnny's got. Same colors. I will go ahead and, well, I think I did that last week. I can't take Jordan 2 weeks in a row. I'll keep looking.
Yeah, if you don't, I will.
You know what? I'll actually take Eric Jensen here. I like what he's got going on. These flames, it's hard to do flames right. I like what he's got going.
It is pretty, I will admit. I like the black, especially how it really contrasts with the fire.
Right. It's hard to miss for sure. Looking around the field a bit more, there is Dakota Bly, some new colors there. I'm going to go ahead and grab this really quick, actually, as my second nomination. I feel obligated to. In fact, let's crack my Rockstar right here. There we go. So I've got my Rockstar alongside my Rockstar Fruit Punch, the punched one. It's just, that's who I am. I drink too many Rockstars, but Rockstar, I'll still take the sponsorship.
We do have a request to see Dyer's car, by the way, from the chat.
That'll be the number 35. I'm searching. He's not even on the track right now, so
Oh.
At least
He set a lap. He's in 14th. That's odd.
Looks like guys might be blinking out. I'm not sure why, because he is on the track now suddenly. There is the number 35. I spotted Dan Stoccaro out there. There is his car. And so that's a new look that we haven't seen yet this season. I believe the Norfolk Southern colors, and then Gray Walker as well in the number 18. He has gone blackout, Interstate Batteries, lime green. So do we see one that you want to pick up here?
Well, I would have considered Jordan White, but you said you went with him last time, so I don't want to steal that. I might have to go Buzzio, right? You were talking, he got that new job, right? New scheme. I do really like how that what's it like, bright kind of yellowish green contrast with the blue.
But
I don't know how to explain it.
But are you seeing this?
You know, I think I might have to change my mind. I might have to go with Caden Perkins.
Yeah, that's pretty solid for Caden Perkins. I like what's going on there. So
yeah, you can take everything I just said, throw it out the window. I'm gonna go with Caden Perkins. Hopefully next race he uses that same scheme.
He did at Texas, but the spec map didn't load for the metallic colors, and he was disappointed about that. But I think he's gonna be happy to know that it loaded up tonight. There we go. I just wanted to get that typed in. So those paint schemes will go up for the Best in Show vote. As you can see, though, times have rolled in throughout this session, and Brendan Maddox is on top right now in the 23. He's actually the pit lane. Jordan White trying to go faster. Can he right there? The answer is no. He, it looks like, will start third. Coulter Clark is, second for White. Here is Clark in third. Can he go faster? These guys get 3 laps. Clark is on lap 2.
Yeah, we were talking about a bounce back for him. He's going to need a good one, right? As I mentioned, he was 29th. Right now, the 2 guys who finished at the back of Texas are 2 and 4, so we're looking at some really good bounce backs from those 2.
I'm going to explore really quick on a quick sim setting that
We're going on an adventure, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that might explain why we are missing some cars. And yeah, iRacing might have reverted everything in my settings. So bear with me. I have just reset that, and that should be better now. There we go. We should see everybody on the racetrack now. Not sure why it was doing that. Stephen Borbell on the racetrack in car number 2. Same look for him that he's had as of late. He's going to go faster that lap. That's going to be a 147.992. Bump him to 12th here in qualifying with a minute left.
Yeah, you know, obviously, right, he's going against Wood in 7th, so, right, Wood's definitely going to be a little bit happy about that. Someone who is going to be happy is Maddox, who's currently in 1st, and his bracket rival is in 17th.
Yeah, he's got to feel good about that so far. Well, Scott Fritz actually has jumped up to the 11th spot, so still a good gap for Brendan going into the race at the moment, but The big bust here of qualifying has to be Caden Perkins, actually. He, it looks like, has dropped the wheel off the racetrack every single lap. It's lap 3 for him, and he does not have a time in yet. So he's going to join Gray Walker, Dan Stoccaro, Kevin Baumler, and Ben Kinney at the back of the field without a qualifying time. And if Rogers or Hall races, they'll be back there as well. As here we go, up on the board late. Adam Buzzio to 3rd.
Wow.
Jacob Quayle recently went up to 4th. That knocks Clark down to 5th. So right at the end of the qualifying session, things change big time, and Dakota Bly will not make it back for his final lap around the speedway. That will take us through the back end of this evening's MX Wraps pre-race show. Thanks for being here. It's been a pleasure as always so far, and it will continue to be, I should say. Sundance Pizza, MX Wraps, Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, and CC's Business, all doing so much for us here at the series. And on our side, the channel side, a lot of the same partners, actually. Whiplash SimCams, MX Wraps, ATVO, Murders Esports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. I did just forget that the field grid's up on the back stretch here, so we're going to rip through the grid very, very quickly. But let's go ahead and do that on pole position this evening at Daytona International Speedway. It looks like some of the photos maybe aren't working. That's okay. Hang on. I know why. There we go. Brendan Maddox on pole this evening. He won at Texas last week. He'll start alongside the young phenom Jordan White. This should be a very fun battle at the front, especially on lap number 1. I really don't know how lap 1's going to go into that braking zone on cold tires and cold brakes. But row 2, how about give me Adam Buzzio in position number 3 with Jacob Quayle there in 4th. It's good to see Quayle this high up. He is going to be a threat at the front with Coulter Clark and Dustin Stallings in row number 3. A little deeper in your top 10, how about Johnny Wood Jr. alongside Brady Motes, followed up by Richard Wolsifer and Jake Christenberry to complete your top 10.
And in 11th, we will have the man challenging the guy on pole in the bracket, Scott Fritz, with Kyle Clank right next to him. Kyle Clank came off a 2nd place. It's going to be really exciting to see what's going to happen there. Stefan Borbell, 13th. Carl Pooler in 17th. For row 8, we're going to have Zachary Maddox and Rusty Rafferty, 2 pretty good drivers. Hopefully we can see something out of them. William Maple will be 17th, and Sam Dyer will be 18th. And rounding out your top 20, Ronnie Norman and Eric Jensen.
A little farther back in 21st spot, Dakota Bly alongside Evan Patinko. These guys, I think, are the final 2 to set a lap in qualifying, followed up by Caden Perkins, Zach Hall, who I don't think is going to be racing. It looks like the order's actually a little bit off back here, but Kevin Baumler, Gray Walker, Gavin Rogers, Dan Stoccaro, and Ben Kinney at the back end of the field. Kinney will roll off from that 27th spot, as Rogers and Hall will not be in the field here this evening. And so Brendan Maddox brings us around town here to get ready to go racing at Daytona International Speedway. That officially concludes the MX Wraps pre-race show. Here's a quick look at the Whiplash SimCams race details. 35 laps in length. That's just 140.7 miles here at Daytona on the road course. Stage 1 is only 10 laps long. Not very long. I don't know exactly how far these guys can go on fuel, but intuition tells me it might be close. We might see some stops at the end of the stage. 4 change sets. We won't be needing them all. As you see, the rest is the same as per usual. The field works down the short chute into the tri-oval, and we will go racing here. The Daytona road course for the BRB Sundance Pro Series. The Castle Smart Alarm 125 is green at the World Center of Racing. Contact already, Jordan White into Brendan Maddox. They're both going to crash in turn 1. Everybody else makes it through the first corner.
Scott Fritz has to be excited at that. We were talking about it. He's going to need a miracle if he wants to beat Maddox. And I think he might have just got it, as now that beautiful number 5, who I almost nominated, will be taking the lead. Adam Buzzio, I think, yeah, who's that in the back? We have someone almost going around. Chaos already into lap 1.
Some trouble there in the International Horseshoe. Onto the West Horseshoe now. The second real big passing opportunity of the lap, since turn 1 is such a wash here on the first lap. Oh boy, here we go. Now turn 6. You see everybody getting straightened out. And back up onto the oval this time. Coulter Clark is right on the back bumper of Adam Buzzio.
And I know I've mentioned it almost 100 times at this point, but this is a huge bounce back race for Coulter Clark. Right, I was talking about same for Jourdain, and he ended up spinning in turn 1. This is going to be a huge confidence boost for our points leader as his main rival spun out into turn 1.
You see everybody attacking the Le Mans chicane for the first time. William Maple deep. You see the rest of these guys, though, navigating it with relative ease. I mean, they made that look easy that time through. And I know from experience a couple of nights ago, it is not easy in this car here at Daytona on the road course. But here you go. Lap 1 will go complete this time by Adam Buzzio at the helm. And you see the difference in line into this first corner. Turn 1, you can take it a few different ways. Clark goes low, Buzzio and Quayle go high. That is going to be an interesting place all night long.
Yeah, it's really just going to come down to driver preference and, right, trying to pass. I think that's why we saw Clark go down low. He tried to get a pass on Buzzio. He gets ahead of Buzzio, actually. I just noticed that on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they're side by side here out of the International Horseshoe. Buzzio back ahead for now. But here we go, down to the West Horseshoe. What are they going to do? Clark is taking the lines I initially tried in this car when I was testing it out a couple of nights ago with Brady Motes, Jourdain White, Brendan Maddox, those guys. I did not find those lines worked. I learned those lines over in sports cars, and they did not seem to treat me very well in this car. We'll see, though, as the night goes on, if that works or does not.
And Clark has a little bit of a run coming onto the banking. He's right behind Buzzio. It looks like he has a lot of speed. We saw him on the scoreboard get past him. He's going to have a big run, peeking down to the inside on the Le Mans chicane. He's going to back out of it. It's a very smart choice. It's a really aggressive corner. So much time to lose if you mess that up. It's smart to not go for there unless you absolutely have to.
And here's the thing, you know, when we watch NARL, for example, GT3 cars at tracks like this, for instance, I mean, those guys save fuel all race long. They are saving. They typically don't dip out of the draft until very late in the race. I wonder if we see a couple of these guys employ that strategy tonight. Just sit in the draft, save fuel as long as you can, try to shorten those pit stops. That's the name of the game, even in NASCAR now. But here we go. A move to the inside. Clark goes through in turn 1, and that is a big lead change here early as Motes and Stallings swap spots. This is just behind the leaders. This is 4th and 5th. I do want to get a replay, by the way, of lap 1, turn 1. This is just too good right now to leave.
Yeah, you were talking about staying in the draft.
No!
Whoa, my God! Oh no!
Contact there between Motes and Stallings. Motes back on the racetrack. Clank nearly clobbers him. And what around? Rusty Rafferty. Everything coming unraveled for the Whiplash Racing drivers. Where's Ben Kinney? Is he still going straight? He is. All right.
Yeah, for now.
For now. Battle to turn 6 for the race lead.
Yeah, happy birthday to Motes, by the way. As peeking down to the inside is Buzzio. He's trying to get that spot back. Trying to get his nose in there, but Clark will cut him off. Buzzio is going to have the draft. Again, coming into the Le Mans chicane, it's not the best passing opportunity. You can do it, but there's better spots we're going to see. Yeah, he's just going to back off, hold behind him. It's a smart choice.
Oh, and in deep, both of them! Clark in way deep, Buzzio followed. They manage it well. Quayle and Wolsifer right behind these guys, though, and I wonder, is that going to be a slowdown for Coulter Clark? He's up the racetrack here like it might be. He comes back down, shuts the door.
Yeah, and Quayle actually had to check up. I was talking about it last time. Yeah, that's just a spot you have to look out for. There's so much time to lose, especially in these cars. Clark will hold on to the lead for now. Buzzio on that outside, Clark on the inside. As Wolsifer is going to set the fastest lap. He's right there in 4th, currently trying to get past Quayle, taking a peek, but will not get it.
Quayle hangs on to third for now, maybe not for long. Wolsifer around the outside here in the International Horseshoe. Now he peeks down low, trying to get the cut back on him. That's not going to work. The crossover fails. The next battle behind these guys, Johnny Wood Jr., Kyle Clank, that is for 6th and 7th. And after that, you'll find Maddox trying to work through Scott Fritz, actually. This is for the bracket.
I believe on that right front, yeah, there's a little bit of damage for Maddox. It's going to be really interesting to see how he can work his way through that. He's obviously done very well, caught up to Fritz as he's going to storm by him.
So let's go back. Let's go back to, well, Fritz gets in deep there. Off the racetrack goes Brennan Maddox. They hang on to it.
Contact.
Now, let's go back and revisit lap 1. Here it was. Into the first corner. Brendan Maddox, Jordan White. Yeah, Jordan just comes down across Brendan's nose.
Tell you what, I have been a part of that GTM community. He is really, he is acting true to that community, just completely cutting off another driver.
Well,
I said that with love.
We hate to see this regardless for both of these two guys. I mean, they both had such high hopes for this race coming into the evening, just like Mexico City. And also, just like Mexico City, they have a run-in here, although early as opposed to late in the race. Here's a shot from the drones into turn 1, and then I want to get back to the Brady Moat situation with Dustin Stallings. See, that makes it look like Maddox might have come up the racetrack a little more, but I think it's heads-up racing. Honestly, let the drivers figure that out. I really don't know how much more we can break it down, but here's a live picture. We'll take a brief pause before we go back and get the look at it for Moats and Stallings as Jensen is turned around here in the bus stop.
Probably just a little too aggressive on the gas coming out of it, or he got tagged.
Or just got in deep. It's very easy to get over those bumps and just have bad things happen. I believe it was lap 3 for Moats. Yes, it looks like it was. So this is actually after it's already happened. Let's back it up just a little bit. And here's the moment between these two. International Horseshoe. Stallings around the outside. Moats down low into the Horseshoe. You see the lockup there for Dustin. And then out of the corner, I think, yeah, that's tough. Brady thought he was clear, it looks like, and Dustin was holding his ground, and I think ultimately Dustin is in the right there, unfortunately for Brady. But, I mean, lap 3 of 35 at the Daytona Road Course, I think I would maybe lift and let a guy over personally, but I'm not driving the car. I'm not Dustin. I mean, that's his prerogative to hold the line.
I mean, I will say I don't think he will be invited to the birthday party.
Yeah, he might not be getting a slice of cake.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I heard it was good, too.
Oh, no! Buzzio around out of second place. I saw him just get to Coulter's bumper and wondered if maybe Coulter might go around. Instead, it's Buzzio sliding through turn 1. He'll get back digging 5th place, though, now as we approach the end of stage 1. Here's Jordan White and Gray Walker. They're doing battle.
Yeah, you got to hand it to both Jordan and Maddox. After the spin in turn 1, lap 1, they've picked themselves up and they're gaining ground. Right, you see a low of 20th.
And that's not entirely representative. That 20th is only at the line. So he very well could have been 25th or so once he rejoined the field. But he was 20th when he got back to the stripe at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, so that's right. You gotta respect both of them for putting their head down and just going for it.
So there's Jordan White. You see him racing with Gray Walker, William Maple Jr., and Caden Perkins there in the background. As far as Brendan Maddox, he has worked back up into stage points. He is currently 9th. You see there, he was able to get back to 11th by the end of lap 1, so he really has not made much ground since then. But he's also, nearly, well, he started out nearly twice as far up the field. So it's harder to pass the further forward you go through the field. So he's had tougher competition for sure.
Yeah. I do, right, as you were saying, right, he was definitely further back there. When he merged back in, he had to be around
Probably 17th,
mid,
18th.
like, I would say mid-high teens, right? So it just shows, right, that these drivers put their head down. As we're having a battle, Jacob Quayle trying to look for a move on Clark. Wolsifer is behind. A 3-car battle. As Buzzio in the back is going to go deep.
Yeah, Buzzio falls back to the 6th spot. He loses the spot now to Brady Motes. Here comes Johnny Wood Jr. looking for daylight. Not going to find it there. Clank is into the top 10. He's always a sleeper on these road courses. He's very good on road courses. It's just hard to say when he's going to race. He's got that hockey schedule, as he is one of our resident Canadians. So he's got that hockey schedule that takes up his time often. And for that reason, he wasn't at Mexico, I believe. But he finished 2nd last week at Texas. So he is riding high. And man, if he has a good run here tonight, we might have to watch out for him in the top 10 of power rankings very, very soon if he can just keep that up.
God, I love hockey. Well, I'm a player myself. I love it.
You know, I really enjoy the sport. I just can't keep up with it. I'm football by nature, and with football and NASCAR that I'm so deeply invested in, I love the sport of hockey, but I just cannot keep up with my beloved Vegas Golden Knights. It's too difficult. I keep up as much as I can. I know they've been in the Stanley Cup playoffs the last handful of years, and obviously always wish them well, but it's just, there's so many games. It's like baseball, right? I'm a very, very big Boston Red Sox fan, but there's 162 games, and frankly, I am more likely to go to 162 races in the year.
Well, maybe if you're rich.
Yeah, I wish. I guess. Well, okay. If you count sim racing and real racing, I think I can hit that number. But here we go for the race lead. Quayle looked around the outside, and I'm watching this 56 of Wolsifer. He's a sleeper on road courses too. I didn't pick him today for my fantasy team. I clearly should have. He is just randomly really freaking good on these road courses, and here he is going for 2nd on Jacob Quayle.
Yeah, right. You know, it's just sometimes he just decides to absolutely kick it into gear. Here's one of those days. Do correct me if I'm wrong. I think he still has the fastest lap.
We can find out, but I do want to mention Scott Fritz is in the pit lane taking service. As far as that fast lap, yes, Wolsifer. I do have a button where I can force that to come back up and check it, so I'm glad you mentioned something. So yeah, Wolsifer at a 146.174 has the fastest lap so far this race. That'll be interesting to watch as the evening goes on, especially once these guys put tires on at the stage. I'd imagine they will. Look at this. Quayle did not get a good run out of 6, and he has fallen way back now. Quayle and Wolsifer might lose the draft here to Coulter Clark.
And that is not something you want. We know Clark has been fast. He's made a few mistakes. Speaking of mistakes,
yeah,
Quayle really has to get out of the way. Almost tags the wall. Clark, I think they're out. They're definitely out of the draft now.
They are. That is, I think, easy stage win now for Coulter Clark. These two just, Quayle didn't get out of turn 6 very well, and then Richard just cooked the bus stop there, the Le Mans chicane. So I really do think this is game over for the stage now, race for 2nd. But we've been surprised before. We certainly can be again. And you know what? Something we have not yet seen come into fruition. I heard from Jourdain last night that these guys were cooking some engines in the practice race last night. Grenading some engines, money shifts, stuff like that. So we could still see some big issues as this race goes on. Here we go. There's Jourdain White into the pit lane. He will join Scott Fritz on the list of pits as, wow, Sam Dyer. The 35 car has met a very early end.
That explains why he's 5 laps down.
Yes, that car is destroyed.
Hopefully during the stage break we can get some idea of how that might have happened.
I'm going to guess that his race car met an immovable object at a high rate of speed. That is just...
put money on it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's just a safe way to go. Here we go, a couple of teammates. Not for stage points, but 17th and 18th on the racetrack. How about Carl Puller chasing down Zachary Maddox? I will say one thing I'm liking that I'm seeing so far in this race. We aren't seeing these guys just absolutely crash all over, but we are seeing bits of contact without it being completely disastrous. I mean, you see the left front of Carl's car is knocked in pretty good, and he's still racing here with a clean car of Zach Maddox. So that's cool to see. I know when NASCAR came here for the Clash that one time and the points race the year after and all of that, it was the year prior, I don't know. When NASCAR tried this experiment, they were definitely liberal with contact. As here we go, 1 to go in stage 1.
Yeah, Clark, he's definitely lost a little bit of time. He was about 1.6, now 1.2, but I don't really think it matters. He's been, just trying to make extra sure he avoids any mistakes. He was very fortunate with Wolsifer making that mistake out of the Le Mans chicane. And speaking of Wolsifer, gets very loose there. Can Quayle try to make a run for second?
There's the onboard with Jacob Quayle. Frankly, until they get out of the bus stop chicane, anything's possible. With the braking zone there and how easy it is to make a mistake, anything is possible in this little fight. There's also a battle between Batinko and Christenberry. That has just separated a bit. Christenberry getting away just a tad. Ronnie Norman behind. So a bunch of Fords here as Rusty Rafferty is going to hit the pit lane as well in the number 43 from the back end of the field. I thought pits might have been closed, but...
He went around earlier. He might have had an issue.
You see lap traffic ahead. Dan Stockero turned around in the bus stop. Watch out, Coulter Clark. He's in the racing line. Coulter has to come to a crawl to get by. That's going to hold up Wolsifer as well. Oh, my goodness. Dan Stockero.
I don't know how to react to what we just saw.
Yeah, Dan Tire Stack Arrow, I think. Here we go. Out of NASCAR Turn 4, it's Clark, Wolsifer, Quayle, and Stallings. Stallings trying to push Quayle around. Clark is going to get the stage win. Who's it going to be at the stripe for third? I don't know. Quayle, I think.
We're going to need a replay of that. As, I mean, Stock Arrow's incident caused a lot of them to get bunched up. I don't think any of them are going to be too happy with him, besides maybe Stallings if he did get third.
And Caden Perkins ends up around out of turn 6 in the number 6. He'll get back going. I want to go back and see what happened there to Dan Tire Stack Arrow. I think that's maybe an apt name, unfortunately, for Dan. I think he'll be cool about it. I think he'll play along with that one. It sounds like a Cars character, but he just backed it into the Le Mans chicane, turned it around, and then here, I mean, he's just doing his honest best to get back going, but I think maybe a different approach there next time would be better, and he puts it at the tire stack and calls it a day.
I think he might not have known that the leaders were right behind him, so he tried to spin back onto, just spin back, get it going, and then maybe, my best guess is that maybe he went into the tire barrier trying to avoid the racing line. That's just my guess. Right, because he had Wolsifer right behind him.
Yeah, just too hot there into the Le Mans chicane, and then trying to get it back going. Here comes Clark, Wolsifer, and Quayle. He's right in front of them. Honestly, I think Coulter got by okay, but it really held up Wolsifer, and he put it there on the tire pack.
Did he turn into it?
I think
from that angle, it kind of looks like he did.
I think you were pretty on target with what you had said.
Yeah.
That he just kind of abandoned the car at that point to get out of the way faster. Here's a look, and then we'll get back to live picture for pit stops. He's deep. That is very deep.
Yeah.
You want to be braking around the 3 board unless you're really confident on the brakes. So that was already deep. That's why he spun around. And then here, I mean, we know the cars are approaching. Yeah, I think he just called it a day right there.
Didn't want to get in the way more than he was.
And so Coulter Clark will lead us around under this caution period. That is out of turn 6, it looks like. Actually, that's out of the bus stop. Hooray, hallelujah. That gets us around the lap a little bit faster. These caution laps, obviously, there's a reason they're slow, but man, they take forever sometimes. So that'll give these guys a chance to get back to the pit lane just a little bit sooner, and then we'll talk to Coulter Clark, our stage 1 winner here under this caution period. I do wonder, I'm going to go look through our fantasy picks. I wonder if anybody had Coulter for the stage.
I see one. Who is that?
Josh Conover.
Winstone predicted him to win.
So Josh Conover and Brady Motes both had him to win the stage. But that looks like about it. As far as the actual correct stage picks. A few guys have him to win the race, it looks like, but sure enough, Motes and Conover will take that. Everybody into the pit lane now. A few cars will stay out. Scott Fritz and Rusty Rafferty, it looks like, will do so as everybody comes in for service behind them.
And yeah, if I just can for a second, right, we were talking about fantasy, right? I'm gonna do a plug for you, but right, fantasy is all fun. I'm in 7th place, and I have gotten a lot of really bad picks. Honestly, even if you just put random drivers every time, as long as you're putting drivers, you have somewhat of a chance.
Yeah,
it's fun, costs nothing, you can get rewards out of it, right? I'm losing every time, and I'm in 7th somehow. So as long as you just do it.
that's it. As long as you stick with it, you are very likely to be in the conversation for the chase. We'll take 12 into the chase for this BRB contest, so keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and grab our stage 1 winner here real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more about stages or fantasy after. The number 4, I'm searching. Where the heck? There he is. Then with those Maverick guys. And of course, he's got those couple of wins to start the season. He might be the hottest driver in the BRB Racing League right now. Coulter Clark, you've got some picks out there to win. You've got some picks out there to win the stage. You've done the stage part. Can you follow up and get that win here in about 20 more laps?
Well, I just got to not money shift. No, just staying consistent. I definitely wasn't fast there, but I mean, I was putting down, decent lap times and, trying not to make mistakes. So just going to go here and try and replicate it again, hopefully not get into an incident with anybody, just try to keep my nose clean.
Yeah, we saw turn 1, of course, and we know how this can go, and we saw a couple of incidents afterwards. I mean, has this race met your personal expectations so far?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be worse. Well,
we still have this restart, and anything could happen here on this restart.
Yeah, speaking as of right now, I haven't seen anything too crazy except for the whole turn 1 blah blah blah. But I'm not going to get into that. That's not my not my deal to get into. So, yeah, just going to go out there and hopefully get a good restart and stay up here.
Well, hey, thinking critically and maybe analytically about your driving so far, I've noticed that you're taking kind of a sports car line into particularly turns 1 and I guess it'd be 5, the West Horseshoe. Is that by design or kind of just happenstance? Because when I learned this track, I mean, we're talking nearly 10 years ago, probably 8 years ago, in a prototype for the first time, I learned to take the low straight entry into turn 1 and then to let the car wash over out of the kink and take the straight low entry into the West Horseshoe. Again, is that by design or just happening that way?
It's just what I'm more comfortable with. I tried a lot of stuff in practice, and honestly, that's just where I was putting in more consistent lap times. So, yeah, just trying to minimize mistakes. I felt like doing anything else, I was taking a lot of risks.
And that was my next point. I know I went back and watched some of these guys. I won't say who, but several drivers were hitting the brakes really late into the corner, bam, straight in third, and then kind of a later shift into second and then first if needed. It sounds like, though, that might be overheating the motor. Has that been consistent on your side as well?
I haven't seen anything. Okay. Well,
I think the 43 was EOL'd for pitting too late before the stage.
I
But
don't know what he's doing. That's what I heard.
well, Coulter, we'll let you get to it, as it looks like the lineup might be a point of contention. But congratulations on the stage win, and we'll see if we're talking to you here in about 20 more laps.
All right, thank you.
Best of luck. That's Coulter Clark winning stage number 1. He's going to restart somewhere in the first couple of rows. I thought it when we saw Rafferty pit when he did that was too late in the stage. I wonder if maybe it wasn't called out that pits were closed, or if pits weren't closed, so he took the opportunity. Because we saw him stop out of NASCAR 2, and I figured, okay, well, that's just him getting the penalty that I figured he would get. But if that wasn't made clear in some way, then I could see maybe the argument. So I'm curious what's going on there. Should we just dial up Rusty and ask?
We got time. Yeah, do it.
May as well. I mean, they're only in NASCAR Turn 1. Let's go ahead if I can here. He might be talking with race control, so we'll take a listen really quick. And Rusty, I just wanted to check in. So we saw the late pit. We saw the initial EOL. What's going on here?
I'm gonna try to toe a nice line, a nice diplomatic line here. According to race control, the pit close command did not go through, so the pits were never closed. There is nothing in the rule book to to establish that what I did was wrong. So I pulled up here out of protest, and I'm having my EOL cleared because of it.
Okay. I mean, we saw the late pit. I knew that pits should have been closed, and I was curious about you pitting at that time. But I mean, if pits are open, pits are open. If they're closed, they're closed. So, was that a strategy move to particularly get this track position and make this work, or kind of just taking it easy?
That is exactly why I did it. It was established in Mexico a couple weeks ago that race control closed the pits, and so that didn't happen here. So I thought, all right, cool. I'm going to pit now when they're still open and get this track position. So.
Well, we talked a little bit, and I know you guys are out of 4 here in a second, but we talked a little bit about the paint scheme already on the broadcast. How special is it to have Dracula on the car?
Oh, it's wonderful. I fought back tears whenever I saw his little face on the pit board, and I can't thank you enough for doing it, and the little messages all around it. So thank you so much for that.
Glad to do it before I let you get back to business here, Rusty. Best of luck.
Thank you.
And there's the restart. Everybody back on the loud pedal. This is going to be busy in turn 1. Are you ready? I don't think so. Green flag again here at the Daytona road course. Coulter Clark is 3 wide into turn 1. He splits Wolsifer and Rafferty. Where is he going?
Fritz will hold on to the lead. He's going to... I'm sorry, I'm still just in shock with that 3 wide move. Clark going to try around the outside of Wolsifer. Wolsifer holds 2nd place. Both of them are going to try Fritz. Fritz, right, he's in the lead right now. Got to do something to beat that 23. Because we've got a little bit of battling going on.
Baumler's around in the back. We'll get a look at that after a lap or so. Wolsifer and Clark side by side. You saw the gaggle out of the International Horseshoe. It continues into the West Horseshoe. These guys are crazy. Wolsifer back on the dive there into turn 6. He gets back underneath Coulter Clark and around for 2nd.
He's going to have a run too, coming out into the bank. He's going to have a shot at Fritz maybe.
And he needs to take it.
He can do that outside.
These two are teammates. If Wolsifer can get clear, I think he's got a much better shot at winning this race versus Scott Fritz. This is a big opportunity for Wolsifer. He will take it. Fritz going to lock down 2nd and hold that 4 car back. That was beautiful as far as teamwork there at the front.
Yeah, and in the back, I just saw Rafferty go over the curb. As oh my God!
They went Borbell. Perkins around as well into the Le Mans chicane. So several issues here on the restart for several drivers, but out of turn 4, well, NASCAR 4, to the line. It will be Wolsifer over Fritz and Clark. This is far from over. Turn 1 coming up.
Yeah, here's that sports car line from Clark we were talking to him about. He's going to go to the inside of Fritz as Wolsifer goes very
Completely
deep.
missed it.
Clark takes the spot over him. Here's Buzzio now. Buzzio fighting with Fritz.
It was like
Good for
Richard just
Fritz.
pulled over and said, take it, Coulter, as here we go. Johnny Wood Jr., Brady Motes are side by side. Motes comes on through alongside Buzzio now. Tons of action here right off the restart, and we are still just 1 lap in, 1.5 now, I guess. Motes will fall back behind Buzzio for turn 5 here. These battles are far from over.
I don't think they will be till the checkered flag falls. As Fritz,
I've been hyping up this race as maybe one of the biggest wild cards of the season, if not the entire league history. And it's proving that way already. We're just seeing big mistakes, and I mean we're seeing some of the usual players that you would expect out front, but this race is still just far from over, far from decided. These next 21 laps are going to be a whirlwind, I think.
Yeah, it all, as we have another one, I think it all kicked off with Maddox and White in turn 1. That was an omen we should have realized. As Wolsifer dropping back a little bit.
An update on your bracket battles, by the way. Chris and Merritt currently up over Pooler. That'll be kind of the, I guess, rear of the field fight, I think. Motes is currently well clear of Perkins, as Motes is actually going to get ahead of Buzzio here for 3rd. We'll see if he can hold that in turn 1. Buzzio on the inside now. He will let Motes go into the braking zone for turn 1. And then Fritz and Maddox. Fritz currently has the advantage there. And of course, we saw the spin for Steven Borbell. I gotta say, the Borbell and Wood battle is the opposite of what I expected. Borbell is typically pretty serviceable on these road courses. Johnny Wood Jr. usually not very much at all. Johnny's in 5th as Fritz goes off the racetrack of the International Horseshoe. That allows Quayle and White to go by.
Look who's behind him.
Yeah, speaking of brackets, it's now Maddox versus Fritz once again.
Yeah, you were talking about battles that were lopsided, or at least not the way you expected it. I did not expect Maddox to be fighting Fritz for 8th. I thought Maddox, right, before the turn 1 incident, I thought Maddox was going to be top 5 all day. Right, of course, things happen in racing, but now he's trying to get up into 8th, trying to get past Fritz and take control of that bracket battle.
By the way, we saw how close the best in show vote is right now. We're gonna let that go until lap 20, completion of lap 20. So if you want to get a vote in, now is the time to do so. We've given you double time. Make those votes for best in show. We can try and recap those paint schemes here quickly before we look for a replay or two. Let's see, the first of them is going to be the 6th. That is Caden Perkins. There he is. This is a look at his paint scheme this evening. The America 250 theme, very strong there. It looks really, really good under the lights here at Daytona. And Jaguar artistry, of course, there on the hood and the sides of that race car. And then we also are looking at Eric Jensen. That is this car. He's racing with Ben Kinney currently. The flames on this car just really pop to me. Then you've also got Rusty Rafferty in the 43. We saw him under that caution. There he is. He is running 16th. That's that Rick Wilson Snickers throwback. We just changed the brown out for blue. And then the final car on that listing will be Dakota Bly. There is the number 88. He's in the pit lane, though. He has called it a day. I still think this is the best paint scheme here.
Even if it's a little scuffed up.
That's all right. Just gives the team something to do between now and Indianapolis. So that vote is still going over on YouTube's side, but I mentioned some replays. Let's go back and look at them. So let's go back to the restart first of all, I guess. I've gone a little too far. Bear with me.
I don't have any bears, but I'll try.
This is into turn 1, the first lap after the restart. So let's go back just a little bit farther. And here is the restart into turn 1. And you saw Coulter right through the middle. He just took the gap and sent it. I'm curious who ends up in trouble farther back. I see the 14 of Zach Maddox was slow there. Patinko was slow for a moment. I know Baumler had an issue. And there it is. He ends up straight lining through the 71 of Pooler. And, oh wow, then he gets tag teamed by the 81 of Patinko. That was exciting.
Yeah, just overcooked it, and then at that point, everything just went wild.
And I think Perkins has an issue here in turn 6. And there's been an issue now for Carl Pooler that I want to take a look at. So here's Perkins into the 6th corner. It was fine there. Might have been the following lap. We can sit and replays forever. What I do want to get, though, is the 71. So let me work on that here quickly. I should have it in just a second. And here it will be. So Carl Pooler is out of the race now. He has towed to the pit lane after a significant issue for the Colorado driver. That was him racing
like
Ben Kinney through turn 1.
Christenberry will be moving on.
It does look that way, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at this incident and then get back to live picture. And this could be anywhere in the lap. It could be much deeper in the lap, but he ended up towing. So it's going to be an abrupt stoppage for Carl, unfortunately. And Carl's been a lot of fun to watch. He is one of the OGs. I believe he is 2nd or 3rd in all-time starts here in the series. Evan Patinko, the starts leader at 95 coming into tonight. So this is race number 96 for the league, as Evan has run every single BRB race there has been. So
gotta hand it to him.
Yeah, that is dedication. That is commitment, certainly, out of Evan Patinko. And he's a big part of the reason we're even here with BRB at all. So here he is, Carl Pooler. I would have to guess it might be right here that he has problems.
Yeah, maybe hit a tire barrier.
Sure enough, deep. Boom, curbs, and he met the tire stack arrow. How unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, and then at that point just hangs it up.
And look at this. Brady Motes has caught up to Richard Wolsifer. He is bringing Adam Buzzio along with, and these guys are not that far back from Coulter Clark.
Yeah, there's about a gap over here. These 6 cars relatively close. Jordan White in 7th, Brendan Maddox rounding out 8th. We see, I don't know, I think Wolsifer, I don't know, I think he might be slowing down a little bit. I don't know if it's due to tire wear, I don't know if it's due to lines. I don't know what it might be, but Motes has definitely caught up in these past few laps. At least from what I assume, when we went off to the replay, he certainly gained more time. Question is, when will he try a pass on Wolsifer? Because he definitely looks faster. We're going to see a good run out of the chicane. Not enough to close in, but we could see maybe set up a move in turn 1, coming out of it at least, and then heading on to the international chicane.
You see this long line of cars. This is 1st through 8th, it looks like. Maybe even 9th. No, 8th. It'll be 1st through 8th. So Brendan Maddox, the final car in this train. And you mentioned Brendan being well back here, battling with Scott for 8th earlier in this run. That's because of the pit time. Look at that. He spent a long time in the pits, 50 seconds repairing that damage. I don't know that it was entirely necessary on his part, but you know what? The bodywork is fixed, and if it's driving well, it's worth it.
Yeah, and he is with fellow Crashy Jordan White.
Yep.
Jordan White is actually getting a lot of fans in chat. I see Virtual and Cheese Tart, both of them shouting him out. I believe Virtual is on his car. I believe he's on his car for winning a Daytona race. I'm not exactly sure how that story went.
Yeah, so I believe what Jordan did was host a race over in GTM over on Roblox, of all things, and I believe the winner got to ride along for this race. which is pretty cool. You know what? He's been talking so much about this GTM community, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I left Roblox behind in 2009, but I appreciate the craft. Okay, that they have a community, they have something they enjoy doing, and that's really all that matters. They enjoy it. They have fun. That's it. I mean, there's no more to the story, right? I mean, they enjoy it. So whatever you think of Roblox, they have fun. Kudos to them. And this might get a hair interesting between these two.
And if you are looking for a really good Roblox row racing game, Grand Touring Masters is a really good one. The GT3 cars they have are amazing. If you're just looking for any of them in Roblox, you should be sure to check that one out.
That will complete
Actually,
lap number 20.
Yeah. Looks like Wolsifer's picked up the pace.
He is right on the back bumper of Coulter Clark here. We are going to jointly award the Best in Show vote, by the way, to the 88 and the 43. So here's the 88 briefly. Let me get him in the graphic here. There is Dakota Bly, and then also the 43 of Rusty Rafferty. There he is. They will both win the Best in Show vote. I say both in joint honors because we can't do a runoff right now. We're too close to the end of the race, and here in 5 laps, we got to start thinking about driver of the day.
Yeah, and both of those schemes, right, as you said, amazing. The Rockstar looks great, and Rafferty giving homage to his great friend Dracula. So it's 2 great schemes. I feel like both deserving of that title.
It is a really cool name for a cat.
Yeah, Dracula, like, come on. If I ever have a cat, I'm calling it Dracula.
May Dracula live on forever in our hearts. There we go. As it is Clark and Wolsifer at the front of the field. Again, this is not the combo I would have expected to battle for the win today. But I gotta be honest, all right? Gavin, Mason, if you guys are watching, even Zach Hall, you guys are awesome. We appreciate everything you've done for this series. However, it is very nice to see some new faces out front on a road course in BRB. Even just tonight, even if y'all run what I think it's Watkins Glen or Sonoma later in the season, this has been nice to get a couple of road races to just mix things up and see what these guys can do a bit more. This has been cool. So I very much appreciate that we've got this opportunity to watch these guys go at it for a road course win that they wouldn't usually have. As here we go, battle for third again.
Moat's big run past Buzzio. Not liking that because I might have some fantasy grudges I'm holding on to. But speaking of fantasy, I noticed a lot of people actually picked Perkins, and he wasn't doing too bad. But now he's in 19th, so that's going to shake up a lot of things in fantasy. That'll be exciting to see what happens.
Well, this setup is not an iRacing default. This was actually built by Gavin Rogers and Rev, the race controller, so that might be part of it. It might be built a little more to what, Gavin was looking for in the car, just inherently, whether he was trying to do that or not. And maybe it's just not suiting him. You know what? I even picked Caden tonight. I thought he was going to have something here, and I went... So my picks are Jordan White, Brady Moats, and Caden Perkins. I felt pretty good. I mean, that's 3 of the top 5 for most of the race at Mexico City a few weeks ago. But now, Jordan, of course, had the issues lap 1, and he's running 7th, looking for 6th on Johnny Wood Jr. That was a dicey move, we'll say, into the Le Mans chicane.
He got it.
But hey, that's some more points for me. So now I've got 3rd, 6th, and Caden is now 18th as he gets by Eric Jensen. So we'll see.
Yeah, as Clark, again, peeking to the inside, I thought he might have been pitting there for a second. My brain confused me. But Wolsifer, he definitely caught up. He was about 7-ish tenths back. Now, right on the bumper, you see him get a little bit loose there. Definitely lost some speed.
All it takes, Super, is for Coulter to have gone a couple of inches the wrong direction in the bus stop. And that slowdown could have been exactly why we see this fight now. Quickly, want to look at a pit stop here for Scott Fritz. As, you saw, these guys are in first gear out of a lot of these corners. So let's see this fight. into the West Horseshoe. Let's ride on board here with Adam Buzzio, and let's watch the telemetry there on the bottom right. You see first gear, you have to baby the throttle out of these corners, or you're going to burn up those rear tires.
Yeah, and I hope we can just listen in on some of these slower corners. As here. Yeah, you can hear how gentle he is on the throttle.
And so Adam's looking a bit more like me the other night when I was testing. I could not get power down out of the corner to save my life. I was babying it, just trying to be easy, and I was losing so much straightaway time. But turn 6 and the Le Mans chicane are probably the most important on this racetrack because they set up for the long straights. So if you can capitalize on those corners like Moats just did, all you got to do is get your nose, alongside the car you're racing.
Look for lost time.
Get power down, and you launch away. As the 56 just lost a ton of time there in the bus stop. That's going to help Moats maybe get to second here. And of course, that would bring Buzzio, Quayle, and White along with. So we are not out of the woods. Buzzio going to pit. So right about halfway in this stage, he nearly went too far to the inside out of habit with the NASCAR races.
We were just at the big oval not too long ago. It was a great race with a brotherly 1-2.
By the way, I just saw a speed that I want to see if we can find again into turn 1. Watch this, Christenberry. He's not going to hit it probably. 197.
Wow.
We need to have a speed trap into turn 1. Because I looked over a moment ago on timing and scoring, and I'm telling you, I saw a number that began with a 2.
We were seeing some of those in practice, I think, right?
You get the right draft, like that certain driver. I don't want to spoil who it was yet, but if you can manage that, it is huge. So here we go out of the pit lane. That is Borbell. And his stop is coming out to about 7.8 seconds, so no tires there. That might be fuel only, maybe right sides, but I don't think you would take tire. I don't think you would take just 2 here. It's looking like these guys might go fuel only. Even Buzzio, 8.15 seconds.
I mean, this is a track where I feel tire wear is balanced, right? So I don't see the point in taking 2. I think you either take 4 or none. I think you just don't fuel.
All right, here's Jourdain White. It was not Jourdain, but I want to see. He's got a good draft here off of Brady. I want to see if he can pull a 200 here to turn 1. As Brady's going to pit, so is Jourdain.
Oh.
That's going to break things up. They bring in Quayle as well. Watch the... And now Wood.
Coming in hot.
Watch the entry speed. It is slow, 55 miles per hour. And these cars are unrestricted in this race. When they run the super speedway, they're restricted. They have the restrictor plate, and that holds them back a good ways. They're typically topping out around 190, 195. Here, unrestricted, they can hit 200, and they have been.
One of these times, we just need to not restrict them on the super speedways and see what happens.
If only it worked that way. Johnny Wood Jr. down the way very quickly. He's been saving gas. He gets out ahead of all of them. Jourdain went for 4 in fuel. What are these guys doing? Stallings down the way quickest. Wow, he's pushing Modes off the racetrack. That's going to be unsafe exit for the 44.
Wait, there was contact though, right?
They must have exited side by side, and neither wanted to give an inch. And remember, these two had to run in earlier.
I don't know if tires is the way. I mean,
no, it's not. I don't think so.
I think the only reason that you might consider tires is if a caution comes up, but we haven't seen one, and I don't think we will see one.
No, I think fuel only is going to be the way to go. It's so much track position. I mean, as much as, 8 seconds, 9 seconds on the racetrack? That's huge in this race. So, Johnny Wood and Adam Buzzio, they're together now. That is one to watch. That is a battle to watch. Brady Moats is back here. I'm so curious about the situation. Let's go back really quick and see if we can see that pit exit for these couple of guys. So this is the pit stop. There is Stallings. Stallings is a much faster stop. He only took about 6 seconds. Like he was fuel only, it looks like, while Moats took tires. And so here they are out of the pit lane.
You're right. Yeah, spot on. They exited side by side.
and neither wanted to give an inch. Oh. I mean, each one feels like they're entitled to the racetrack there.
Yeah. It's just not wide enough for 2 cars.
No. It is designed for the prototypes and GT cars of IMSA to get out of the pit lane, not stock cars side by side like that. So I do wonder if that's going to be a penalty for the 44, or if it's going to get waived, or what's going to happen. I'm very curious.
I feel like you can argue both ways, honestly. I would love to be a fly just in the room
on the wall,
listening to that argument. Yeah, because there's good arguments for both.
Watching Coulter Clark and Richard Wolsifer at the front of the field. Richard is caught back up, by the way. He is back within about a half second as they roar onto the backstretch here at Daytona. And we just hit 10 laps to go. I want to wait for this pit stop, though, and the rest of this to cycle up before we do driver of the day, but we are thinking about it. Don't worry, we're not going to forget.
Has Maddox pit yet?
Brendan Maddox has. He actually just pitted. 6.4 seconds in the box. And maybe that's the other advantage to him doing what he did on the stage caution, making sure he had extra time in the pit lane, made sure it was absolutely packed full of fuel, and he was able to go a little bit farther, and he's got track position now over Buzzio and Johnny Wood. As here we go, our leaders are in. This will end the pit cycle.
Well, no, Walker hasn't pit.
Well, yes. If Gray pits, it ends the cycle. If he does not, then we keep going. But Gray will pit as well.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Let's see what Coulter and Richard do. I don't see Jackson the 56 or the 4. Fuel only looks like for both. They did everything right there.
For Wolsifer.
Slightly less for Wolsifer. Coulter's still got track position. I like Coulter over Richard there, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen both of them make mistakes.
And there's Brendan in the background.
Brendan, right? This guy was way off the track, turn 1, lap 1, and he's in 3rd now. What a drive from him.
Boy, oh boy, we are just getting started. Putting this race under the lights, I will say, I think was a fantastic idea. I was a little bit concerned about broadcast sight lines. Well, not sight lines, but broadcast viewing, I guess, with the darker infield. But this just brings out that much more in these guys. I feel like, I don't know, daytime races, it feels like, you're more likely to take it easy. Nighttime races, you're just a little more likely to go a little bit harder and rough a guy up. And we have seen some fantastic racing tonight as a result. In fact, here's Borbell on Walker with Clank in the background. This is for 10th, 11th, and 12th right now. Oh, and Gray's deep into 6.
Borbell trying to make up for that spin. Slide his way into 10th. A little bit loose. Walker had an overcut. I don't remember seeing him up here. Yeah, let me see if I can find where he was before the pits.
So Gray took less fuel than Steven, and Clank behind them took 4. Here we go. Steven on the inside into the bus stop. There goes Gray Walker. Oh my goodness, what a catch from Gray Walker to drift into the bus stop like that, over the curving and not lose control. That was beautiful. Turn 1 now for the leaders. We are at 9 to go, it looks like, or no, 8 to go rather. We got kind of 2 little battles up here, as it's 1st and 2nd, then 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, it has been a very exciting race all night, pretty much. Started with chaos, it's had chaos throughout the whole way, but it hasn't ever felt too much. And we have been treated well here. Is Maddox gonna go a little bit deeper?
I feel like maybe we should pull a page out of Jeff Gluck's book and do a race rating poll, because I really think this would trend very, very well. And this was a league-wide vote for this slot on the schedule. I forget what it was. Like, I mean, there were like 18 tracks or something up in the vote, and Stephen Borvell worked with me on it a little bit, and there were some great options. Adelaide was on there, Nashville Fairgrounds, Hickory. All in all, it was Daytona Road that won out, and here we are. We actually, to my recommendation, we did ranked choice voting. Do you know what that means?
A little bit. Where
So-
you like you choose like first track, second track.
Pretty much. So instead of just choosing like one or two options, you get a chance to rank the racetracks based on your actual preference of each one. And that way, like, for example, if you have 12 racetracks up for a vote, right, and you got to pick just one, you might like, you know, you might have almost a tie between two racetracks, but you can only pick one. And so ranked choice gives you the chance to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and they each get that little bit of a buff, and then it takes the average. And so we did elimination style, and through all of that process, it seemed like everybody disliked Daytona Road the least, and that's how it won. I mean, that's how that works.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, they made a great choice.
Look at this. Morbell on Walker again, with Clink now ahead of these two.
No matter where we go, there's a battle.
Yeah, and the leaders are now approaching lap traffic. Walsifer to the inside, maybe, of Coulter Clark here. They're approaching Ben Kinney. Maddox and Buzzio are right behind. We're going to have 6 to go when we get back to the stripe here, Super. What you say we go ahead and get our Driver of the Day nominations in, shall we?
Yeah, do you want to go first, or should I?
I typically would give it up to you. I mean, would you like me to go first? I can.
Dealer's choice, we'll do that.
I will go ahead and I'll tell you what, we'll alternate. I'll grab one, you grab two, I'll grab the last. I am going to go ahead. I'm looking. I have a couple of ideas in mind. I want to see this next page. That's what I thought. Gray Walker, up 16 positions. I don't care where he ends up finishing this race. 16 spots. Didn't set a qualifying time. That is impressive. I'm going to go ahead and give Gray Walker a nod.
Yeah, and right, it might say, it might say that he's lost 2 positions, but Maddox has just been rising the entire time.
Great pick.
Started in first, but spun around. It says he had a low of 20. That was during the pit stops. Before that, it said he had a low of 11th, which was not true. He had to come out in the high teens. He's pulled his way back. He is right behind the leaders, and he has a very good chance of winning this race after being spun on the very first corner.
Yeah, he is not out of this for the win at all. That's a great pick. I definitely overlooked him there. Who's your second?
I'm going to have to go Clark. He's managed this race very well. Right, we've seen it. He's been able to hold off. 24 laps led. He's led almost every single green lap. I know he didn't lead a few under caution. He's managed it well. He's done really well, especially when he had to deal with that lapped car at the end of stage 1. Managed to get around it really well. He's just done everything that you want to see a leader do. Well, you know, besides pull away by a couple of laps. But, you know, he's just done everything he could do. He's had a great race so far. And again, great bounce back race after having a really bad Texas one. And it's really exciting to see him.
I'm going to have a couple of honorable mentions. One of them is going to be Richard Wolsifer, who's running second right now and has for a lot of this race. He does have a lap led, but we know, like, he enjoys road racing. And this does make sense for him to be good here. This isn't that out of the box for him. I also want to mention Brady Motes, who is running in 5th. And that leaves 2 options, I think, at the front of the field that I'm very torn between. And they are the cars immediately ahead and behind of this driver in Brady Motes. Brady's ran a great race. Adam and Johnny, I think, are a little bit more impressive to me. Adam, he doesn't necessarily shy away from road racing, but I would never expect him to win a road race. And Johnny Wood Jr. is very open about his distaste for road racing. So I am torn between these two, but I can only nominate one.
Flip a coin.
I tell you what, I'm thinking of a number.
Oh, you're gonna put this on me?
No, that doesn't make a lot of sense. No, I'll just pick.
We could send it to YouTube.
We could, but we only have a couple laps to go here. I'm gonna go Adam because he has a chance still to win. He is with this lead group. He has a better chance to win. For that reason and that reason alone, that will break the tie for me. Otherwise, Johnny is a fantastic option, but that will break the tie for me. So Adam Buzzio up for driver of the day. We will let that vote go on YouTube until about the end of interviews, but here we go. Final few laps. It was 5 to go last time by. These laps are, of course, longer, but we're right at the end.
Yeah, and if I'm any good at math, that means we're going to have 4 to go. Maddox has been gaining a lot of ground. I think if he wants a chance to win this race, he has to get past Wolsifer this next lap, or else I don't see him having a chance.
He definitely needs to make very, very quick work of it here. This is the driver, by the way, that I saw hit 201 earlier. Can he do it here?
He might do it.
201 into the corner. Wow.
He glitched out and said 216. I don't think that was right.
Yeah, we're not at Indy right now.
Something tells me that's not 100% accurate.
No, not quite. Buzzio, problems, Adam Buzzio. I think he had a slowdown in turn 1. Have I jinxed him?
Maybe you should have gone with Wood. Because here's Moats down the inside. This is for 4th.
And pass made. Meanwhile, Maddox gets by Wolsifer there into the kink. Not a typical passing opportunity. Brendan doesn't shy away. He's got less than 4 laps to go to run down that 4 car. I don't think it's going to happen, but if there's anybody in the field to do it, either one of these two.
Yeah, it's like I said, he has to get past Wolsifer now. He's looked faster. He's going to go wide, though.
Oh!
That might be it.
They're going to beat themselves.
1.8 back. They're going to have to work together if they want to catch up to Clark. I think unless Clark...
Their tires are too hot now.
Yeah. Clark just has to not mess up on his shifts. I think he can just take it easy for the rest of the race now.
He can. And I would advise him maybe to be easy on the shifts as well. Go back to Mexico. That's how he lost that race early. He grenaded the engine. I think it was the stage restart, right? I mean, he lost the engine early on in that event, so he's got to be careful on those shifts. There'll be 3 to go at the stripe. You see Maddox lost some time there to Wolsifer. I think both of these guys have absolutely lost the plot. They beat themselves there racing for second.
Yeah, and Clark, if you are listening, be careful. We can't have a heartbreak battle between two. We're going to see a switchback, giving them the bumper a little bit. Just trying to make something work, but Wolsifer parked it on that inside.
These two have a history. Go back even just to New Hampshire a few weeks, about a month ago now. Stallings, problems. The 00 turned around, it looks like turn 1. Quayle was slow with him. Let's go for a quick replay as Quayle is off in the dirt. Wall. And that car is destroyed.
Oh my god.
The right rear is junk. Something about that car. The right front is junk. Jacob, that is not going to get back around very easily.
Yeah, no.
Even if you do, that's going to be a meatball, certainly. That's straight to the pit lane. He's going to try. I admire the determination, but let's see how this even happened. Oh, boy. I saw just an early snippet of who was involved.
He's not even near them. Oh, it might have been...
Watch this,
Jordan
turn 1.
might have cooked it.
Dustin Stallings, Jourdain White, Jacob Quayle, Stallings ahead, and Jourdain tips him around.
I can't exactly tell from that angle. It looked like, maybe if I'm being generous to Jourdain, maybe Stallings came down. But it looked more like an aggressive move just went wrong.
I'm trying to find if I can get a proper good angle.
I mean, it came down.
It's late in the race, so I acknowledge that side of it as far as the look to the inside. I mean, it's very late.
Did we get a heads-on view from Jourdain?
I think that might be what's next. Here we go. That's tough.
Yeah, I think it's just on both. Jourdain tried it. Stallings came down.
That's really tough. Well, these guys are starting to run down the 4-car. No,
Oh!
never mind! There goes Wilsifer around out of the International Horseshoe.
Oh my God.
What looked to be on his own. Let's confirm that quickly. We'll do one pass of this replay. Into the International Horseshoe. Jens it on the outside. Wilsifer cooked it on entry. Gassed it up. Spun around on his own. What a Murtis mega miss for Maddox. Wow.
It's a great time to come back, too.
Brendan Maddox has recovered after being around on lap 1, turn 1. He is second. I don't think he's really got much of a shot at the win now. He's got nobody to race with, but boy, what a recovery drive out of Brendan Maddox. All while chasing Coulter Clark yet again. Can he get 3 in the first 6 of the season?
And remember, I know I won't shut up about it, but it's that bounce back. He had a bad race last time, lost a lot of ground to Maddox. He still had that huge lead, but he lost a lot of it to Maddox. This is going to be big for his momentum, going to swing him back into that early season form we saw him in.
Meanwhile, white flag brought to you by Whiplash SimCam's final time around the Daytona International Speedway, the world's center of racing, coming alive this evening, road course style for the BRB Sundance Pro Series and the Castle Smart Alarm 125. Can the Castle car get back to the lead? He started there this evening. He might be the fastest, and into turn, I guess, well, the horseshoe. You saw Clark go a little bit wide. I mean, maybe. There's a shred of a chance right now. He needs to be within a second, though, out of turn 6.
And he's going to need a huge mess up from Clark if he's got a chance. We're going to take you now as he goes through the West Horseshoe. You can tell he's giving it everything that car has. I don't know. He's going to need a huge mistake from Clark if he wants a chance, which I don't think will happen. But still, you have to respect the effort that he has given. Yeah, 1.3, 1.4 coming out of it. They enter the banking. Turn 7 on the road course, turn 1 in NASCAR Oval.
Meanwhile, there goes Coulter Clark down the backstretch here. The Daytona super stretch. You see the top 4 all spread out. Clark leading the way here into the Le Mans chicane for the final time. This is the final braking zone and acceleration zone. Maddox is within a second, but I don't think that's going to be enough unless Clark's got to slow down. Does he?
Oh.
They both go up top. Maddox goes up top too.
I think, is Maddox just trying to get the draft? Or does he also have a slowdown?
I think they're both just trying to split the draft. Here we go.
Yeah.
Coulter Clark is going to keep it. He's going to win. Oh, he made it exciting there at the line. The car control, though, for our 3rd-time race winner this season. Coulter Clark can do it now on a road course as well. You see the shot there from Maddox. He's going to burn it down over in turn 1. Wow.
Imagine if he would have lost that race. Oh,
He tried. He gave it a shot. A couple of battles to the line.
Yet another Toyota win, by the way.
It is. That's the 6th in 6 races. The closest battle, by the way, to get back to the stripe is this right here. William Maple Jr. and Rusty Rafferty. There's the fireworks on the backstretch. Try not to be distracted here. Can Rusty get there? This would be for 15th.
I always love when they do those fireworks during the 24.
There are the fireworks down the backstretch. We're watching that gap from Rusty up to Maple. I don't think it's going to happen. And so there you see the fireworks off the backstretch at Daytona International Speedway. What an evening of racing here. Maple will come across in 15th, Rafferty in 16th, Maddox in 17th. Hey, he finishes on the lead lap and in the top 20. How about that? Oh boy, Coulter Clark. An unbelievable run from him. Brendan Maddox still working around the racetrack here in cooldown, as Moats will be as well.
Yeah, Maddox just has to think what could have been if he wasn't involved with White in turn 1. He had the speed, he had the pole. What could have been for him?
These guys are celebrating now, having some drifts around the racetrack, SVG style.
Yeah, someone's happy.
Hey, it's his birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to him, by the way.
Brady Moat celebrating a birthday here this evening at Daytona.
Birthday boy with the top 3.
We'll be talking to him once again as Brendan Maddox will bring it on to the front stretch. We'll see. Well, Clark's already hung it up. He's already parked it. But Maddox is going to go for some celebratory loops through the grass anyways and into pit lane as Moats looks to do the same. Let's go and take a look back at your unofficial race results here this evening. A very different story to what we saw at Mexico City in I think, a good way. There is your race winner, Coulter Clark. Not even part of the brackets, but we'll take a look at that as well through this results graphic. You see Coulter Clark on top. Brendan Maddox will eliminate Scott Fritz. Brady Moats will eliminate Caden Perkins. Buzzio and Wolsifer collect top 5s. Johnny Wood Jr. will eliminate Stephen Borbell. Jordan White, Dustin Stallings, Kyle Clank, and Gray Walker will complete your top 10 here at Daytona.
Stephen Borbell, as you noted, eliminated by Johnny Wood Jr. Fritz eliminated by Brendan Maddox. And Jake Christenberry will eliminate Carl Pooler after he made a mistake and ended up going around. Ronnie Norman, 17th. William Maple Jr. in 15th. Rusty Rafferty in 16th. Zachary Maddox in 17th. Eric Jensen in 18th. Ben Kinney in 19th. And Jacob Quayle, after running hot, unfortunately falls down to 20th. That will round out your top 20.
And back to 21st spot, Caden Perkins eliminated in the bracket this evening by Brady Moats. Evan Patinko, Kevin Baumler, 22nd, 23rd, early exits for those drivers, as well as Carl Pooler, who gets taken out and all of that himself. That'll be 24th tonight for Carl. Dakota Bly ends up credited with 25th, Dan Stockiero 26th, and Sam Dyer 27th, as Rogers and Hall take a DNS. This evening did not start. Coulter Clark sweeps the race and the stage here this evening at Daytona International Speedway. Let's get these guys down here quickly to the waiting room so we can chat with our top 3 drivers. I'd imagine they're all going to be relatively happy, maybe not over the moon or anything, but should at least be in relatively good spirits, I would imagine, as Coulter Clark probably is in great spirits. A dominating victory here, not just the stage win, the race win as well, Coulter. It seemed like you were maybe not the best, as you alluded to earlier in the stage win interview, but you were more consistent than just about anybody on the racetrack. Do you think that goes back to that kind of sports car line?
Oh yeah, 1000%. I don't think I would have been able to be as consistent as I was without doing that. Man, what a grad gift.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go next. You just graduated high school. You got 2 wins as a high school senior this season. Now you've got a win as a high school graduate. How many more are you trying to stack up?
As many as I can, you know.
That's the easy answer, right?
Yeah, I gotta beat the win record in a season. So,
well, okay, let's critically look at this. All right, analytically, like I did earlier. Okay, look at the schedule. You see everything ahead. Indy next week, Iowa, Rockingham, all these racetracks this season. How many more do you realistically feel like you can rack up? All the fire department, he's thinking big time.
I see a chance for 7 or 8 more, you know?
Honestly. 7 or 8 more?
Yeah.
In 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see a chance for a lot of tracks I'm good at. So, I mean, I'm not going to call my shot yet, but it would be surprising to me if I'm not running up front quite often.
Well, up front and winning are different things. But hey, Coulter, of course, you mentioned you just graduated high school. You continue on here in this series and many more. I mean, what's next, I guess, as far as the iRacing space goes? I mean, is there an aspiration to go higher into the higher ranks, or are you still going to play around in these leagues? I mean, what is the game plan for Coulter Clark as you move on to be, I'm assuming, a college student and more?
Really just, I don't know, kind of just hang out in leagues for a little bit longer. I know I'm a good driver, but I wouldn't say I'm pro level enough to even be, you know, half the skill of what a pro driver is. So I don't know, just keep taking it season by season. If I see the chance for me to go higher, you know, there's a big possibility I take it. But as of right now, you know, just kind of bide my time.
Well, Coulter, it's good to chat with you, of course, as always. And boy, a big win here this evening. That's now 3-6. That points lead that was starting to dwindle, and the power ranking lead that went away, it's all coming back. Congratulations.
Thank you. Needed that after 2 DNFs.
Coulter Clark getting back right with victory lane, I suppose. Second place does go to a pretty, I think he's going to be happy with the end result because of the circumstance, I think, Super, but he's certainly not going to be happy with how he got there. Here is Brendan Maddox.
Yeah, you were talking about it. Started on pole, crashed out, turn 1, managed to claw his way to second. How do you feel about your comeback drive?
I could have won it. I think I was just looking back at the incident with the Brady, and I think a couple things happened into turn 1. I think Jordan expected me to aim for the grass, and I was aiming for the middle of the track because that's kind of where the racing line goes, and he just turned in a little bit too early because of that. But I mean, I think it's just a lack of spatial awareness, to be honest. And that's, I think, where I'll leave that on broadcast, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't really recover after that. I was stuck back in 9th. I had no draft. Draft turned out to be a really big thing on this track. If people drove away from you, didn't have the draft, then you really couldn't catch them anymore because of the long run around and then the bus stop. So you're basically running the whole speedway. So, you know, you can think the speedway is normally with draft. So battled up back to 9th, I think, for the stage. And then had to fix something like 45 seconds of damage and started the tail end of the pack for the whole second stage. And just kind of worked my way through. I think if I didn't have to work my way through the field, I could have definitely overcut these guys just like I did Adam, Brady, and Johnny as well. So, I mean, it's not a bad day, but it feels like a what if. You know, what if that turn 1 incident doesn't happen? You know, do we get into each other somewhere else, or, you know, does the race go better? You know, who knows? It's a what if situation. So, I mean, it's another race where 2 teams come out and they win it, and it was a pretty good race at the end. It's not like anyone ran away with it. So, you know, Coulter and Richard were battling, and then I got around Richard because I think he sent it. No, he didn't send it too deep in the horseshoe. I think he got on the throttle too early and spun his tires. I haven't gone back and looked at that, but props to Richard though. I mean, he was making me work for it. I had to try to figure out ways around him, and I mean, I did get around him, and then I messed up out of the road, inside of the track, coming out back to the speedway turn 1, and I let him right back around. So. But you know, props to him, keeping it clean there and having a fun battle. It was really nice. I made the comment after the race. I think this race and this racetrack put on some good battles similar to Mexico City. So I think it turned out to be pretty good.
Yeah, and you're currently you have the driver of the day vote as of right now, 43% over Walker and Clark, who both have 21%. How do you feel knowing that you're the people's champion at least?
For at least one race, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it feels pretty good. You know, people recognize the drive that happens, so that always feels good. And I got to give a shout out to Scott. I think he tried to undercut the stage and beat me in the bracket brawl, but it just wasn't meant to be for him. So he tried what he could, and you know, you got to give props to him for that. I even got around him, and he really didn't put up much of a fight, I didn't feel like. So, but yeah, thanks for the drivers of the day vote. I'm gonna go and 3D print myself a driver of the day trophy and put it on my wall.
And one last thing before we send you off, you were talking about it, bracket brawl. You're going to be going against Johnny Wood Jr. in Indianapolis. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to earn that one. Feel like Johnny's pretty good at most ovals, but I think we've may or may not have been with us last time we raced Indy. I think he was, and I remember him being pretty good there. So, we'll see. To get even this far is kind of cool. So, I didn't even really think I'd get this far in it. So, it's nice. It's nice to be in the Final Four for it.
Yeah, well, you had a great drive, People's Champ for at least one race. It was great to see you claw back. Right, obviously you could have won it, but you still had a great race nonetheless, and I'm personally excited to see what you can do for Indianapolis.
Yeah, me too. We'll see. I do got to give a shout out. I have got a friend watching. Call him Ozzy. So he's a guy from the Heat 5 days that I used to run, and he and I still keep in touch, and he'll watch these races. So shout out to him for watching, being a fan out there too. So I always appreciate it.
Yeah, well, great job. I'm gonna head you out now. You did amazing. Good luck in the rest of the season.
All right, thank you, sir.
Brennan Maddox with a big night here at Daytona International Speedway. A P2 to Coulter Clark. Again, I think he's happy with the end result given the circumstance, but certainly not happy about the circumstance. But hey, somebody who I think will just be happy in general is the birthday boy. Fireworks just for you, Brady. How about third place tonight? How did you get there?
Well, I can't say that I'm 100% happy, but man, if I don't take 4 there, I feel like I might be a little bit better off. But Andrew, I just had no rears. I mean, I had nothing. I couldn't do anything with them. I mean, those guys, and that's what I was telling Brendan and Coulter a minute ago. I was like, dude, if I had 2 ounces of talent and I could put laps together, and I know if Josh is watching, he's making fun of me, but if I could put laps together, then I would have been right there. Because Kevin was coming to the radio, I guess, because he parked it or whatever. And he's like, all right, well, there you are. You're a 45.9. And then he's like, okay, you're a 47.8. What'd you do? And I'm just like, I don't know. I just can't put it together, dude. I just can't. But I think we're pleased with our first podium of the year. But, I mean, I just know there could have been more.
And of course, from here, it's out to Indianapolis next week. Any, I guess, big outlook on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my worser, I guess that's not as good tracks. But we're gonna be keeping an eye on that 11 car and gonna try and beat him. I mean, we're gonna have to try and beat him. But I know Jake is really good there, so we'll have to keep our eyeballs on him. But if I could beat him and make it to the championship, I might have a shot at them. At where are we at? Iowa, correct, for the championship for that bracket brawl?
I believe, yeah, that should be the way the calendar falls. So, yeah, from Indy to Iowa, the next couple races.
Yep, I love my shot at Iowa, but if I could just get through Indy and beat Jake, which I know he's really good there, really, really good. So I just hope I could beat him and maybe make it to Iowa, and I might be pretty good, but we'll just have to see how I match up with on the other side of the bracket. If they're, I mean, it's probably gonna be somebody really good anyway. So maybe we'll make it. Maybe we can make something happen.
Well, best of luck, Brady. Obviously, we'll be rooting for you at least a little bit here on the Pit Stop TV side. But hey, a great run. This is kind of what I feel like Mexico should have been, but just didn't pan out to be. Yeah,
pretty much. Just like to shout out my wife real quick for her letting me run 2 nights a week. I really appreciate her for letting me do that and everything. Shout out to you, Andrew, bringing me in here with these guys. I've had a pretty good amount of fun. And then shout out to some of my teammates. I know they got in some other notable issues, but I mean, we ain't gonna go there. But anyways, but yeah, shout out to Ben and Rusty. I think they had some decent runs, and then the guys over at Dark Star, I know they had some pretty decent runs fighting in the back. But all in all, just really happy. Harpoon Design on the hood. Appreciate Brantley for riding with me for I guess it's been 5-6 years now, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, just looking forward to Indy, and hopefully I can be relevant there.
There you go, Brady Moats taking prisoners here in the bracket brawl and third place tonight here at Daytona. Congrats.
Thank you, Andrew.
And happy birthday once again to Brady Moats. I didn't ask him for the age. I think at some point super, they stop being, I guess, super, right? I mean, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, at some point. I'm not there yet, but I feel it coming.
At some point. Well, the next couple races, of course, for BRB, Indianapolis and Iowa. A couple of very different racetracks. Really, the whole string to the chase, all just very different. Indy, Iowa, Rockingham, Kansas, Martinsville, Motegi, Michigan. Not that there's been any rhythm to this calendar yet, but there certainly won't be the rest of the way to the chase and through the summer. So it's going to be a wild run to the chase, that is for sure. We have a couple races left on our slate, and it's going to be exciting to see how things pan out in the next couple of races, the next couple of bracket brawl races especially, so keep all of that in mind. And next up for us here, Super, that is going to be next Tuesday. We have just about a week off, actually, so some time to rest and reset, and it's going to be interesting to see what we can do and work up in the meantime. But you see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we're right back to the usual grind. We've got the BRB Sundance Pro Series right back at it in Indianapolis. And then Wednesday, we actually take non-wing cars out for the first time with the Dirt Sprint Car Championship Series at Knoxville Raceway, the sprint car capital of the world. And then it's on to the finale for the North American Racing League and their GT3 season number 9 for the pros. They will get back in action, though, in June with Porsche Cup cars. We just finished up the promo paint scheme today. It looks fantastic. We've already got that next race, or I guess the next broadcast scheduled for that, so it should be a lot of fun. We've got some cool things on the way, and that's, of course, just a small snippet of what's upcoming. But we do, of course, have to take a look at who ends up winning this driver of the day vote. And let's see. It's pretty, I mean, it's not unanimous by any means, but I think it's a pretty well decided vote that I don't think is really that surprising. Brendan Maddox will be today's driver of the day at Daytona on the road course. And I mean, Coulter, we know he's been so good lately, so it's, yeah, he dominated the night, but the drive from the back to the front for Brendan, really twice, considering he took that long pit stop in the stage and repaired the car and everything, that was super impressive. That is super deserving of driver of the day.
Yeah, Claude is way back, as mentioned, the people's champion for at least one day. And, you know, he said it, he could have won, it's a what if, but still, he has to be at least a little bit proud of his clawback and his rise up to P2. It was a good race, all things considered.
There you go, Brendan Maddox, driver of the day this evening. Super, any final thoughts here from Daytona before we get going?
Honestly, right. We were mentioning, I'm glad that the drivers voted this. This was an amazing race. You also talked about it. Huge wild card. It was a joy to be here. You know, if I'm not commentating, I'm watching all the races, and this is probably one of my favorites so far this season. Maybe I think I did like the Cars one a little bit more, but this was still a great race.
And so we move on. Next up for these guys, as we saw, Indianapolis in a week's time. Do not miss it. A big thank you, of course, goes out to our partners with the channel and, well, with the series here. First up, Sundance Pizza, doing so much for the BRB Sundance Pizza Pro Series. Glad to be back with them for season number 6. And, of course, MX Raps does so much for this league. And WrestlePits.tv as well. I'm going to be honest. Let's storytell for just a moment. Last night, we went live for the Nora Prelude at Eldora. And turns out our broadcast ATVO file corrupted upon export a little while earlier. So we went to load it, and the graphics were broken. They just didn't load. It bricked up the software and everything, and completely delayed us in getting the broadcast started. Thankfully, the league held qualifying for us as long as they could, so it all still kind of worked out. But it's what happened after the fact that really made a difference here this evening. This broadcast was up to standard still, because of the hard work of Brendan Maddox helping me as a bit of an IT guy, which he is, to get a backup file recovered and back into ATVO to make this broadcast happen tonight. Otherwise, I would have been rebuilding ATVO all night long. There's still a few things I gotta finish bringing back up to where they should be. Like a few things just didn't carry over from the backup to this new file, but we would not have had this broadcast in this normal standard without the help of Brendan Maddox. So a big thank you to Brendan, and it's good to see him get back up to P2 tonight. A big thank you as well to Performance Food Group, RevSimShop.com, Whiplash SimCams, and CC's Business, and our partners here at the channel, Whiplash SimCams, MX Wraps again, ATVO, Mercy Sports, CC's Business, the North American Racing League, Whiplash Creative, and TZO Designs. That's it for us here from Daytona. Thanks so much for watching once again. It's been a lot of fun. This league just gets better and better on the entertainment aspect, and the stories go on and on and on. So we're in for a fantastic season from here to the end. Thanks again for watching. Congratulations to Coulter Clark, and we will see you next time, hopefully in a week's time, Indianapolis.
Thank you.